disappointment, right? So I learned this principle from one of the coaches, one of my mentors, and this stuck to me, right? This stuck to me because this principle really helped me define myself, right? It helped me pick my values and where I want to go with my life. So most of you know me. Where do you think I'm from? Type it in the chat. If you know me, just type it in the chat. Where you think I'm from? All right. Don't be saying, if you know me and you're messing around, don't be saying some weird countries. All right. If you know me, where do you think I'm from? Okay. Type it in the chat. Where do you think I'm from? Eda said Nepal. Nepal. Sophia is trying to be funny. Sophia said Earth. All right. All right. Nepal. Okay. Coach Kangas, Mexico. I wish. All right. Nepal. So just said Asia. All right. So I am from Nepal, right? Most of you know me, but people who don't know me, they usually say I am from a weird country, right next to Nepal, but they'll never guess Nepal, right? So when I tell people that I'm from Nepal, you know what they think? They think that I come from the mountains, all right? I can climb mountains, like I live in the snow, like I'm like a polar bear, right? But the truth is, the part of Nepal where I came from, it was the exact opposite. Like, let me tell you, it was a desert, right? So most of you know me. I came from a refugee camp, right? I was born in a refugee camp. I was born there. I was raised there for 10 years. And it used to be super hot. Like I can still remember, like it was super hot. Like I used to, like I was 10 years old, I was a kid. I used to walk in my underwear. All right, don't record this. All right, I hope no one is recording this. All right, so yeah, in Nepal, like almost every day, like I used to walk in my underwear because I was like 7 or 8 years old, right? So it was that hot. It was that hot. And whenever it was hot, there was this one thing I would love to do with my friends, right? There was this one thing I would love to go do with my friends, and it was to go find a river because we only had one river. It was like a 15-minute walk. So if it was hot, we used to go down the river and we used to swim. All right, I kid you not, this picture has some story. I know what most of you are thinking. Coach Timon, is that you in the middle? No, it is not me, all right? This Google thing, you guys got to be careful. I typed kids playing in the river, and the first thing it gave me was a kid that looked like me in the picture and a bunch of my friends, all right? So if you see my bunch of my friends, I literally tagged them in Instagram too. Hey, this is you. I'm giving a lesson about you guys, right? So going back to my point, we used to go swimming because it was so hot, right? So this process happened. I got to come to America, which was a great opportunity, right? So that's where people got misused how I came from Nepal and how it was snow. But here, I came here in Omaha in the summertime, right? In 2009 in the summer, in the May time. And if you know anything about Omaha, we live in Omaha, right? In the summertime, it's hot, right? It's hot. And it had been, I think, a week since I came here. And I was like, I went to my cousin and I said, hey, where's the nearest river? He looked at me like, are you crazy? He looked at me like, are you crazy, fool? We're in America, right? We're in America. He almost slapped me. He said, we're in America. We don't go swim when it's hot in the river, right? That's what he said. And he said, follow me, right? And he took me to my apartment. I followed him, and then he went to a wall, right? There was something stuck in the wall. I always thought it was like a mini watch, like advanced American watch, because I came from a refugee camp. I didn't know anything, right? So he went to this thing that was stuck on the wall. He pressed some buttons on the wall, right? He pressed some buttons on the wall, and after a few minutes, all of a sudden, it started to get, one second, guys. It started to get colder, right? After 15 minutes, it started to get colder, and I was like, what the heck is happening? I told my cousin, are you God? Like, can you control the weather? Like, how is this possible? And he said, no, fool, it's a thermostat. In America, you got electricity, like it's connected to the AC, it's to the system. Like you just press this button whenever you're cold, right? I was like shocked. I was like mind blown. Okay, that's the thing I learned what a thermostat is, right? Okay, I can change the weather in my apartment, right? That was the coolest thing that I've ever experienced since coming to America. And from that day on, I pressed on the thermostat so much I broke it in the next 15 days, and my parents had to call someone to come and fix it. But my point is, that's when I learned that the climate could be changed inside of my house, right? So I just told you what a thermostat is, right? So I'm gonna ask you I ask you guys, can you put it in the chat? Let's see who the first person is, right? Let's see who's smart enough. What's the difference between a thermometer versus a thermostat? Okay, so I'm really asking, what's a thermometer or what is a thermostat? What is it? What is it? What is it? Come on, don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. What is a thermostat or what is a thermometer? Yo, there's like 34 people. Okay, A-Hey Silk said thermometer measures. All right, all right, all right. Do we have any more? Do we have any more? If you're on unmute, you can say it too. What is the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat? Like, what is a thermometer? Maria said, I'm not smart, sorry. I told you what a thermostat is. I told you what thermostats do. So a thermometer, okay, we got a smart one in the group, guys. Okay, now I feel like everyone is answering at the same time because I know some of you Google that. You Google that and now you're coming back, huh? You Google that and now you're coming back. I know some of you. Look, somebody said certain thoughts said thermometer determines the temperature and thermostat is on my thing. It's carrot. Thermostat, a thermometer tells you the temperature of a certain area. It could be from air to test a liquid. Yes, yes, yes. Congratulations to those of you who got it right. A thermometer measures. So this is how I remember it because it's similar, right? Thermometer, thermostat, thermometer, thermostat, and you're gonna hear it for the next 15 minutes. Thermometer, thermostat, thermometer, thermostat, right? So thermometer, meter measures, okay? Meter measures. So meter, thermometer, it measures the temperature, right? Stats, thermostat, it sets, okay? Thermostat, it sets the temperature, right? It controls the climate, right? If you tell it to go to 60 degrees, it'll tell it to 60 degrees, right? But the difference about a thermometer is if it's 60 degrees outside, thermometer doesn't change the climate. It just tells you, okay, it's 62 degrees, right? So like I just told you, a thermometer reads the temperature, a thermostat sets the temperature. And after this day, if you think in Thrive we only play games, we don't teach you nothing about life or nothing about thermometer or thermostat, you're wrong because I just taught you, okay? A thermometer reads the temperature. A thermostat sets the temperature. All right? And this is where this is what I want you guys to remember, okay? So if you are sleeping right now, wake up from my voice. This is what I want you guys to remember, right? This is a great picture of leadership truth, right? It's the truth. It's a principle I learned when I was a Thrive student. I learned it from coaches, and now I'm telling it to you guys, right? Because it really works. If you apply it to your life, it really, really works, right? A thermometer, it reflects the climate. A thermostat, it sets the climate, right? And what if I told you that most people are like thermometers? You're like, hold on, Coach Timon. How are most people like thermometers, right? So what a thermometer does, it reflects the climate, right? It tells you what to do. All right. Now, some of you might have friends, or some of you do what other people do, right? Some of you, we tend to reflect the culture around us, right? We buy the things that other people buy, right? We say the things that other people say, and then we want to wear the things that other people are wearing, right? And we value the things that others value, right? And I'll be honest with you guys, right? I'm a thermometer myself, right? I'm a thermometer myself, and I'll tell you why, right? I was the most scaredest person ever in the world to even like hop on a bike. One time, my cousin, he bought a bike, and he asked me to hop on the back, and we had a near-death experience. And after that experience, I said, I am never even gonna ride a bike. I don't want to look at a bike like a motorcycle, right? I'm never gonna buy a motorcycle. And then this summer, all of my friends, they started to ride motorcycle. We in college, they started to look cool. I was like, hold on, okay. And then 3 months later, I was on a motorcycle, and then I bought a motorcycle. It's in my garage right now. And if the first thing you see on Instagram is I'm on a motorcycle taking model pictures, right? So I'm telling you guys, I'm a thermometer myself too, right? You see, people in life, they don't set the climate for the environment they live in, right? I'm gonna repeat that. People don't set the set the climate for the world they live in, right? They just mirror back that climate like a thermometer, right? Um, and if that thermometer is you, I want to tell you that you gotta able to control your climate, right? You gotta be a thermostat, right? If you learn how to set the climate of your life, especially if you're a freshman in high school, or we have some students that graduated from Thrive that want to learn from Thrive. If you are a thermometer right now, but if you learn how to change the climate of your life, you can have the success, right? I can't imagine the success you'll have, right? Because that's what I've been able to do, right? Because my friends, like I'm close with my friends, right? My friends will say a lot of things. Hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that in the weekends, right? But you gotta set your priorities straight, right? You gotta be fundamental. You gotta stick to your values. All right, this is why I'm doing this for, right? This is why I'm going to college, right? I didn't go to college to hang around with my friends, right? Or I'm not going to high school to skip with my friends, right? Or I didn't go to high school just to stack around or do nothing, just do what my friends does, right? I went to high school. I'm going to high school because I want to graduate and I want to make my parents proud, right? So let me tell you a little bit of a statistics, okay? A sociologist did this experiment in in America, right? So he estimated that 70% of Americans, they do not think on their own. So 70% of Americans, they're thermometers, right? They're thermometers. They just do what other people do, right? And it's hard. It's hard, right? I'll be the first one to tell you it is really, really hard. When your friends say something, like it's hard to say no to them, right? It is very, very hard. I know, right? Or when there's like a new like a drama or new movie on a Netflix, it's hard to not click on it and go over to your homework, right? It's hard because then if you don't watch it and when you're hanging around with your friends the next time, you're like, oh, why did you not watch it, right? You'll be left out, right? So be a thermostat, right? 30%, only 30% are people who control their own lives, right? Who are guided by their values, who control their own climate. You see, leaders, right? And we call you leaders in Thrive because we want you to be leaders, right? Leaders are people who decide to take their life to the next level. And I believe that each and every single one of you can take your life to the next level. I don't care whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, or you graduated high school already, right? Because there's always a point in your time that you can take your life to the next level, right? Even adults, like even in college, like you think I got like if you look at my life, you guys think like, okay, Coach Timon is successful. He's speaking. He got the full-ride scholarship. He went to study abroad. He got a motorcycle, right? There's always improvement for your life, right? You can always level up to the next level of life, right? And that's by becoming a thermostat, right? That's by setting the social climate which you are placed at, right? And that's also not getting influenced by others. So like not getting influenced by the world, by your friends, by whatever they're doing, but rather influencing them, right? So you got to influence them in what you're doing, right? And you got to influence them in the values that you hold, right? So why are you going to high school? Why do you want to go to college, right? Why do you want to make your parents proud, right? So things like that, you have to be grounded, right? And you might be asking, Coach Timon, you've been talking about thermometers. You've been talking about thermostat. You've been telling me, hey, don't be a thermometer. You've been telling me that I am a thermometer. How do I become a thermostat, right? How do I become a thermostat? Because let me tell you, this year, it was tough, right? This year, 2020, our grandchildren, our children is going to look at 2020 and be like, read in the history and be like, what the heck? What the heck happened in 2020? I'll tell you, that's what's going to happen, right? Because 2020 has been rough. I mean, this pandemic and all the like the politics that are happening in our world, right? It's been tough, right? Let me tell you, I thought to myself that I was a thermostat, right? Because I learned this lesson in Thrive, right? I had total control over my life. I was stuck to my values, right? And when the pandemic hit, and when I got informed that, yo, all the schools are gonna shut down, I was like devastated, right? That means I had no source of income, and the things that I was learning as a speaker, like I could not do it anymore because I had things lined up. Like this was the year that I wanted to step my foot in the speaking world, right? You all know me, like I want to be a speaker and a facilitator, right? This year was the year that I wanted to do all of that, and I had things lined up. I was gonna go speak at an elementary school, right? Next, the week before the shutdown, and then the shutdown happened. I could not do anything, and then I ended up working at UPS. I ended up lifting boxes, right? So I literally lift boxes. I was dealing with angry customers, right? I was like doing stuff that I don't want to, and I was moving further and further away from my goals because I was changing from a thermostat to a thermometer. And then one day I heard an angel's voice. I heard Coach Kangas's voice. He said, "Timon, quit your job." Right? That's what he said. And then I quit my job that day. No, I'm kidding. All right. I didn't quit my job that day. Okay. I gave them a 2 weeks notice, which you are, if you're in high school, you got a job, don't quit on the day off, or don't call in and say, "Hey boss, I quit." All right. Because that will look really, really bad on your future employment resume. Okay. Quit, give them a 2 weeks notice. That's what I did. I gave them a 2 weeks notice. And then I started becoming real with myself again, right? I started slowly finding my way back, right? That's what the part of the reason we're having virtual try, right? So how do I become a thermostat? That question might be going in your mind. You just got to be real, right? You have to be real with yourself, because leaders who are thermostat, they have values and principles they live by, right? They are authentic, and authentic also means to be real, right? Authentic, that word comes from the root like to author, right? They write their own story. So what you have to do is you have to write your own story. Don't copy someone else's story, right? Don't be doing what other people are doing. And I know the pressure is high, especially in high school, right? And I know the pressure that's been put to you, especially the class of 2020, if you're a senior, or just if you're going to high school right now, which all of you are, I know the pressure is high, right? It's hard. It's hard not to do what someone else is doing, right? But I promise you, if you start saying no to certain things and saying yes to things that will help you in your life, and start writing your own story, man, you will have a compass, right? You'll have a GPS. You have a GPS of your life that will guide you to success, right? You'll have a GPS that will guide you in every single direction if you start writing your own story, and if you stick to your values. All right? Would you not like that? Would you not like a GPS to tell you where your life is going, right? So here, I'll give you some examples. I'll give you some examples, okay? So who do you think this is? Type in the chat. Type in the chat. Who do you think this is? What man in history do you think this is? Let me know. Let me know. Let's see the first one. Come on. Come on. Don't fall asleep on me, guys. Who do you think this is? It's okay. I'll give you some time. Maybe you guys are searching this. Maybe you guys are searching it. Teresa said, "I don't know." Come on. We don't have any history experts. We got like, what, 34 people in here, and we don't have any history experts? Come on. Who do you think this is? Let me know in the chat. I got to see at least one person. Nobody? Nobody? Okay, Esmeralda said Nelson Mandela with a question mark. Ada said Nelson Mandela. Yes! Yes! To the people who are historically smart. So here in Thrive, we teach you the science, thermostat, thermometer, and we teach you history, okay? It's not just about games. It's not just about leadership lessons. It's about science and history. So this man, he was called Nelson Mandela because that was his name, right? Nelson Mandela. And he was a visionary leader who believed that forgiveness was more important than revenge, right? That was his belief. That was his value. Forgiveness is more important than revenge, right? And he was so guided, rooted to his values, that people who opposed him, they put him in prison for 30 years so he could maybe change his value and try to get out of prison, right? All he had to say was, "Hey, I don't believe this anymore. I want to get out." But he didn't say it for 30 years. He stuck to his values. Even after being in prison for so many, years, his commitment to justice and peace, it showed the world that like great leaders like often sacrifice their personal like comfort, like they are guided to a value, and it helped them accomplish this goal, right? It helped him accomplish this goal. Like you guys should really look him up. He was the first South African president elected in a like a fully democratic election. So who do you think this is? Let me know in the chat. If you don't know who this is, then you got some problem, people. Who do you think this is? Who do you think this is? Sophia says Jeff Bezos. All right. Sophia says Jeff Bezos. Who do you think this is? Who do you think this is? All right. All right. Yoshu is not Sreesan. The Eda said the Amazon guy. Okay. Okay. No one else. No one else. Come on. Come on. Come on. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? So, Sophia, you are correct. Ding, 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 ding. Pase 2, you are correct as well. Srizan, I knew that was coming. Coach Kangas, if you've seen that, somebody said this is you, which I think it's a compliment. So, no, it's not Coach Kangas. All right. I wish it was Coach Kangas, so he would give money to thrive. I wish it was Coach Kangas. All right, so yes, it is Jeff Bezos. All right, he is the CEO of Amazon. And if you've not heard about Amazon, then you're living in a cave. Okay, Google search Amazon right now. Okay, not right now, later. Okay, he is a well-known visionary leader. Right, he turned an idea about online shopping that nobody believed that could happen in the future, right? But he's seen it in his mind. Okay, this is what people are going to do in the next 20 years. And guess what? That's what we're doing right now, all right? I don't think there's a single person that's here that hasn't heard of Amazon or doesn't order in Amazon, right? And he is the richest person in the world. He has like billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? And he is a leader because he believed in his vision. He stuck to his values. Yes, Teresa said Teresa, and it is Teresa. She's known as Mother Teresa, right? Mother Teresa. All right. And if you know anything about Mother Teresa, she was a giver, right? She served the poorest of the poorest, and she even lived among them and liked them, right? But here's something that you guys don't know about Mother Teresa, okay? Here's something that you guys don't know. Mother Teresa came from a nice, wealthy family. It was her choice. It was her belief. It was her value that wanted to serve and help the poor people, right? She became a nun. She helped out in a missionary, and she became one of the most well-known, respected leaders. I think she even got a Nobel Peace Prize because she was grounded to her values. Because if Mother Teresa was a thermometer who did what other people did, she would be just one of those, those rich people doing their own things. But no, she stuck to her values. She wanted to help. She helped. And that's why the world knows her for being Mother Teresa, right? And all of these leaders that I just showed you are respected, not because they're like classy speakers, not because they're rich, not because they're famous. It's because all of those people that I just showed you, they live by certain values and didn't drift from them, right? Their whole life. Right? Jeff Bezos is still alive, right? I'm not talking like he's dead. Jeff Bezos is still alive, and he's still visionary. He's still leading, right? He has like a SpaceX program that wants to take people into space. But my point is, all of these people, they stuck to their values, right? That's why they're at where they're at in life right now, right? And people respect those who are value driven and principle centered, right? So even if you have a group of friends and they tell you to do this, do that, if you stick to your values, your friends will see that, right? Especially in high school, your friends will see that, and you can get them to guide them and then stay in their values and focus centered, right? So I'm going to leave you with this one quote here, right? So you can screenshot this, take a fancy model photo, put it in the caption, what you guys do, you could do that, right? So this quote is called, "If you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. All right, I'm gonna repeat that again. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. All right. So people like who don't stand for something, they're thermometers, right? Because they reflect what other people do, and they do the same thing, right? And they end up falling for everything, right? But if you hold on to your beliefs and values, you will stand for everything, right? You will stand for everything. You'll have a guided compass in your heart that will tell you where to go and how to be successful, right? But you gotta be value centered, right? You gotta learn how to say no when your friends tell you, hey, let's do this, when you have a assignment due at midnight, right? Being being stuck to your value means, right? You gotta learn to say no. And even in college, right? Even in life, it's like that, right? You gotta say no. Hey, I gotta do this. You gotta have your value so you can have a guide for your future, right? So be a thermostat, not a thermometer, right? Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Respond, don't react. All right? Because if you react to everything, because you if you react to everything, you'll be doing what other people are doing, right? But if you respond, then you'll have your values with you, right? Because here's a little information, all right? Inside of every thermostat is a thermometer. Inside of every thermostat is a thermometer, right? It reads the climate before, and then when it reaches a certain temperature and it reaches a certain number that we want to put on the thermostat, and then it changes the climate, right? So inside of each and every one of us, like there is already a thermometer, right? It just depends on how you respond, right? And how you set the climate to your environment, right? If you're in college, if you're in high school, if you're in middle school, you got to learn how to control your own life, and then you control your future from that. So be a thermostat. All right, real quick, everybody put the word thermostat in the